Let's step back to the final days of summer, 1968, in northern New Jersey. On the morning of Saturday, August 31st, the Hoffman-LaRoche pharmaceutical complex sat unusually quiet. Many offices were closed for the weekend. Parking lots that were normally packed during the work week held only scattered cars. Inside the massive corporate campus, routine replaced urgency. It was just another overtime day. But behind the controlled access points and security gates, something was already wrong. By the end of that day, a young woman working alone would be found murdered on the floor of a secure building. A crime so unexpected, so contained, that it raised a chilling question that still lingers decades later. How could someone commit a brutal murder inside a restricted workplace and disappear without leaving a trace? This is the story of Joan Freeman. Hello friends, my name is Marcia, and this is Midwest Murders, where we explore the unsolved cases that still haunt America. The year 1968 was marked by uncertainty and unrest across the country. The assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy had shaken the public confidence. Protests against the Vietnam War filled city streets. Trust in institutions was eroding, even as corporations and industries projected stability and progress. New Jersey was a hub of industrial growth. Pharmaceutical companies flourished there, and Hoffman-LaRoche stood as a symbol of modern science and corporate success. Its sprawling campus housed laboratories, offices, and research facilities, all designed to reflect order, control, and innovation. For many employees, especially women working administrative roles, these complexes offered opportunity, but they also created isolation. The buildings were large, the hallways long, and after regular business hours, those spaces could become eerily quiet and unsettling. Crimes against women, particularly those occurring in respectable corporate settings, deeply unsettled communities because they challenged long-held assumptions about safety and control. 22-year-old Joan Freeman represented the hard-working, dedicated young women of the time. For 3 years, she had worked as a secretary at the Hoffman-LaRoche complex. She lived at home in West Paterson with her parents, Bertram and Carolyn Freeman. Her brother Raymond was away, serving as a Coast Guard lieutenant in Norfolk, Virginia. On that Saturday, Joan reported for an overtime shift, expecting nothing more than a few extra hours of routine work. Joan arrived around 1 p.m. Her assignment was straightforward, recording employee hours from time cards. But instead of working in her usual office building number 1, she had been assigned to building number 34. She was working on the second floor inside the medical library, an area located within the facility's security-gated zone. It was not a bustling department. It was quiet, controlled, and largely empty that day. At some point shortly after her arrival, Joan was attacked. Investigators believed she was in the middle of feeding data cards into a sorter when the assault took place. There was no indication of a struggle spilling through the area. No alarms, no interruptions. Hours passed. At approximately 6 p.m., a security guard conducting a routine check made a discovery that would haunt the facility for years to come. Joan Freeman was found lifeless on the floor of the medical literature department. She had been struck in the head with a wooden mallet, which was found nearby. Her throat had also been slashed. Although both injuries were present, the official cause of death was a skull fracture. Joan had been there for hours, unseen and unnoticed. When detectives arrived, the location immediately shaped the investigation. This was not a public space. It was a restricted corporate campus with controlled access. Joan was fully clothed, and there were no signs of sexual assault. From the beginning, investigators believed the killer had to be someone who worked there, yet the physical evidence told them very little. The wooden mallet produced no usable fingerprints. The weapon used to slash her throat was never found. One of the most unsettling aspects of this case mirrored another case you may recognize, the murder of Geetha Angara, which I covered in a previous video. Much like that case, no one noticed Joan was missing during the hours that she was gone. She reported for work, and for hours afterward, no one questioned her absence. Because the crime occurred inside a secure facility, investigators assumed the list of potential suspects was limited. Only employees with access to the campus should have been able to reach her. But despite this supposedly narrow pool, no suspects were ever publicly named, no arrests were made, and no one was officially cleared in a way that brought resolution to the case. The belief that the killer was likely a co-worker only deepened the unease surrounding the investigation. Joan's death devastated her family and friends. More than 150 mourners gathered at St. Valentine's Roman Catholic Church in Bloomfield to pay their respects before she was laid to rest at Mount Olivet Cemetery. Beyond that personal loss, the murder unsettled the broader community. Hoffman-LaRoche was known for the secrecy of its operations, and the limited information released about the case fueled speculation. Some believed Joan may have seen something she wasn't meant to see. The area where she was found was conducting research into bioelectronics, and rumors spread that she may have stumbled upon sensitive work. The company denied any wrongdoing or industrial espionage, but without answers, those theories lingered, filling the silence left by an unsolved crime. More than half a century later, the questions surrounding Joan Freeman's death remain. Why was she working in Building 34 instead of her usual office in Building Number 1? Was this assignment routine, or did it place her alone in a vulnerable location? Why did no one notice her absence for hours? Was she truly alone in that building when she was attacked? And if investigators were correct that the killer was a co-worker, what was the motive? Was it personal, opportunistic, or somehow connected to the secrecy of the work being done nearby? Each unanswered question reinforces how isolated this crime truly was. Joan Freeman arrived at work on August 31, 1968, expecting an ordinary overtime shift. Instead, she became the victim of a violent crime inside a place meant to represent order and security. Her murder stripped away the illusion of safety for those who worked at Hoffman-LaRoche and left her family with decades of unanswered questions. We are left with what's missing: a weapon, a suspect, and accountability. Joan Freeman deserves justice. What do you believe happened inside that secure building on the final day of August 1968? Please leave your thoughts or theories in the comments below. And for those who've asked about supporting the channel beyond watching, we've added a small Midwest Murders shop linked below. But as always, thank you simply for being here and listening. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and may the truth reveal itself in the shadows.